So the National Park Service has been ticketing all-wheel drive vehicles going on four-wheel drive trails. Now, what's the reason for this? Is this just being a jerk about it, or is there an actual reason for it? Well, the difference between an all-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive, a lot of people don't really understand the difference, and the difference is pretty much four-wheel drives have a forward low, and it's not the fact that you just have a forward low range, it's the fact that all-wheel drives have this like clutch assembly in the middle, so it kind of slips during the normal driving time, and then whenever you need to give it the gas and you need that traction in the rear, they slightly heat up and expand and they grab each other. So they almost like wrinkle and grab each other. And that's what gives you the four-wheel drive in the rear. So that's why it's all-wheel drive. It's automatic structure. Now, why is this bad for using an all-wheel drive going to a four-wheel drive trail, a 4x4 only trail? Well, these clutch assemblies that kind of heat up and grab each other, they're not built tough. They're very weak. If you overuse them and overheat them, then they break. And that's the issue, is when you're going off-roading with an all-wheel drive, this clutch assembly pack that's in the middle instead of a transfer case is going to overheat, and then you're going to be stuck out there in the middle of nowhere. And that's why the National Forest doesn't want all-wheel drive vehicles out on these 4x4 trails, because they're going to be stranded out there, and now they are the national park's problem because they are stranded out in the middle of nowhere. So that's why they don't want all-wheel drive out on these four-wheel drive trails. Because you're in your Subaru, and you're halfway down the trail, you're feeling really good. This thing is really going great. It's jacked up higher, and all of a sudden that clutch assembly, that clutch pack in the middle, it got too hot and it breaks, and now you're stuck miles out in the middle of nowhere. And it shouldn't be the National Park Service's problem, but it becomes their problem. So that's why all-wheel drives, even in my opinion, they shouldn't be out on these four-wheel drive trails, because the clutch packs are going to get overheated and they're going to get stuck out there. Plus, they don't realize that when this clutch pack overheats and they get stuck out there, it's going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars to repair this clutch assembly. And it's almost guaranteed it's going to break on you while you're out there. So, in a sense, the National Forest is protecting your investment, because you're going to spend thousands of dollars when that clutch assembly breaks out there. Now, a 4x4 that has a forward low, the reason why the deciding factor kind of is a forward low, transfer case, is that means your truck has a transfer case. That means that it's chain driven, it has a transfer case to kick it down into a forward low range. Now the 4 high on those trucks, 90% of them are four-wheel drive. There's a small percentage on the 4 high position. There's a couple Lexuses and some vehicles that have an all-wheel drive option on the 4 high option. Like I said, they're only maybe even 5%. It's a small percentage. So for those people who have an all-wheel drive that has a transfer case for forward low, you need to drive it in forward low, because again, they have a assembly in the middle that I think it's Lexus, and there's one more out there, but they have the assembly in the middle that's not a true, gear to gear four-wheel drive. So don't use 4 high on those. Now, like a Toyota Tacoma, a Jeep Wrangler, these vehicles with a 4 low, on the 4 high, they are engaged. They are a connected device, and you're not going to, of course you can break anything, but it's harder to break, much, much harder to break those assemblies. So that's why, Ford Bronco, Ford Raptor, the Wranglers, most of the Jeeps, the Jeep Compasses, and those ones that don't have a forward low, don't take those out there, because those are going to be the all-wheel drive units. Even though they're four-wheel drive, they're going to overheat and break on you. So do not take anything that does not have a forward low, because if it doesn't have a forward low, it doesn't have a transfer case, and it doesn't have a direct engagement from the front to the rear. It has those clutch packs, and those clutch packs, they overheat and they break. Now the clutch packs are different than a clutch pack in the rear of your truck. So if you have a clutch pack in the rear end, it's a different type of clutch pack. It doesn't overheat as much as those center clutch packs. So it's a different story for those. Those aren't as bad. So that's it. That's why National Park Services don't want all-wheel drives out there, because they're going to get stuck and they're going to break, thousands and thousands of dollars in parts. Which they don't care about that. They care about that they have to use resources to come get you in the middle of the night or, burning up day. So that's the reason why all-wheel drives are not allowed out there. So that's it for today. And like I always say, you like what we're doing, please subscribe, because you all make it happen and I can keep getting you good content and good information out there. We'll see you next episode.